Hi there and good evening and welcome to the Jim Bohannon Show from Westwood One Radio. We're at 1-866-50-JIMBO, 1-866-505-4626. Online, find us at JimBohannonShow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Jimbo Talks. We're speaking with Daniel Lippman, White House reporter at Politico and author of Politico's Great Weekend Reads column, to offer some thoughts about the president now after his return to the White House. And, of course, the president has been seen not wearing a mask on his return to the White House. He did mask to take a brief trip outside Walter Reed Hospital to wave at his supporters, both of which have gotten him considerably more grief from those inclined to do so, Daniel. Sometimes it almost seems to me like the president seeks out ways in which he can receive grief from people.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. He is very good at eliciting negative reaction from his detractors, and so it seems like every day he comes up with new ways to do that, which is just so amazing. But no, I think he wants to project strength. He wants to say he is in the final stages of beating this virus. But what he doesn't realize, or he is not acknowledging, is that he's getting the best medical care. He has a huge medical team of doctors, nurses, the best in the world, world-class medicines and trials he's on. And most Americans are not president, and they don't have access to all of that stuff to make their illness better. And remember, 7 million Americans have gotten coronavirus, 210,000 people have died.
I am wondering about his actual status. There's been some mixed signals on that. We were told in the beginning everything was fine. Then the White House chief of staff offered thoughts that the president was, in fact, in a bit of distress for a while. Then we're told the president was very angry at that view being expressed, and he has, of course, since then tried to exhibit a man who is on top of it, if you will, although I'm not sure in the case of the coronavirus when symptoms can vary so much from severe all the way down to asymptomatic. Do we really have a handle on just how the president is doing?
Yeah, he seems to be doing better, but if you watch the video of him on the Truman balcony, he was gasping for air a little bit, and so chalk that up to the trip or whatnot, but still, and that is, leading the Drudge Report, read by millions of conservatives and liberals tonight, and, there's the family is kind of divided in that Don Jr. and the kids, some of the kids were a little apprehensive at what, how Trump kind of operated in terms of how he wanted to get out of the hospital. He wanted to do that joy ride last night that exposed some of those agents, and so that is a real concern in kind of Trump world, that whether he has learned the right lessons from this pandemic, or is he going to continue to kind of ignore mainstream doctors' advice, and what does that mean for kind of the future of the coronavirus outbreak in America when they can't even keep the president safe?
Well,
how can he sell a message to the rest of Americans saying all is well, all is under control?
Looking at the campaign now, with 4 weeks and a day as we speak left until we actually arrive at election night, although many ballots will have already been cast, do we have any indication at all of how this is all playing? Is there a sympathy vote for the president? Are there those who consider his behavior to be reckless, which presumably would be against the president? Do we know how this is playing politically?
So we don't know exactly how his return to the White House is playing, but there is senior citizens, he's not doing that well among them, because they have been the worst affected by the pandemic, and they kind of look at his behavior and they think it's been reckless, irresponsible, not having these huge rallies, not social distancing. You have 30 people so far who have gotten sick or at least tested positive for the coronavirus. that have interacted with Trump in the last week, and so a week and a half, and so that is causing real concern among Republicans who say that they feel like that they've kind of already lost, and that the next month it's only going to kind of seal the deal. They are very pessimistic about how to turn around this campaign, and they see Trump is not even able to go on the campaign trail for at least.
Well, now that's just it. What do we know about whether or not the president is in fact going to resume campaigning? What do we know about the fate of the final two presidential debates after the Wednesday night vice presidential debate?
So it is a bit unclear when he'll return because it just depends on his health, and that's TBD. It's a day-by-day process. He hasn't hit the 7 to 8, day 7 or 8 during his illness. Those are often the critical days in that it can go either way. It can turn severe. It can, go back to the road to recovery or continue on that road. And that, that's Wednesday or Thursday. And so there is a kind of a feeling that there's, the mixed messages out of the White House, the lack of good staffers, the chief of staff, the doctor, they don't have tons of credibility. And so that makes it harder for them for Americans to believe what they're saying. And that hurts the campaign as well. And so Trump, of course, he wants to go back to those rallies, get that adulation, but he's having to put that on hold because he doesn't want to, expose, lots of people. And I don't think tons of Americans would want to go to those rallies in the first place right now.
How has this affected the Biden-Harris campaign?
Well, of course, they say the right things about, praying for the president's health coming back, but they are, and they're actually happy to pivot to a more positive message. They're the ones who are on the road. They're not stuck in Biden's basement anymore, and so that makes it easier for them to kind of point to that they're the party of normalcy. They want to reopen America safely, and so while the Trump campaign kind of does their virtual events and other things like that, and so the Biden campaign feels like they're way ahead in the polls, 14 points nationally, according to NBC News, Wall Street Journal. Less big leads in other states, or in other polls, and so they feel in a much stronger position than Hillary Clinton, who is much more widely despised as a candidate than Joe Biden.
Daniel Lippman, White House reporter at Politico, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI,
Go to NFLshop.com and get your favorite player's jersey, name and number t-shirt, or collectible. Get ready for the return of football with the most up-to-date assortment for all 32 teams. From new logos and draft pick jerseys to gear from your favorite retired players, NFL Shop has you covered. NFL Shop is your source for the best selection of officially licensed NFL products, from jerseys, hats, collectibles, and more. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com today.
Does this place look haunted?
No, I don't think so.
What about those two creepy girls?
Come stay with us.
That is truly frightening.
You know what's really scary? Missing out on Geico's great service. With Geico, you get 24/7 access to licensed agents.
Thank you, creepy girls.
Want to see our room?
We're gonna sleep in the car now.
Happy Geico-ween. Switch today for 24/7 access to licensed agents.
Today on Hey Culligan, the best things in life are free. Water tests. Let's go to Candace.
Hey Culligan, how do I learn more about my water?
Candace, let me just test the waters here.
Okay.
Literally test your water.
Oh.
For free.
Free?
Free, Candace. In-home water tests for free. So you know more about your water and how to make it better with Culligan water. And Candace,
Yeah?
we're already on the way.
Oh, good.
Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
If you're curious about who may be out there but don't want to jump into anything right away, then take a fun step and just take a look at Our Time. Our Time is the #1 dating site for singles over 50. It's easy to use and can help you find a partner